Well, the time has come for me to get some more work done on this assembly table. Now, I'm kind of having to do this in a slight, I wouldn't say rush, but a little more alertness than usual. I've got some heavy thunderstorms right outside my window, so I apologize if you hear a little thunder. I've got a lot of tornadic activity that's going to be happening today, so I'm going to try and get this done, and hopefully it won't blow away.
Microjig, maker of the gripper. Work safer, work smarter.
Now what I plan to do is incorporate some T-track using Rockler's system. And I really like their system because they have an intersection that you can have multiple areas of T-track. Not just one here, one in the middle, and one in the end. I can actually have multiple intersections of T-track all over this thing. And I had one person ask me, none other than the wood whisperer Mark Spagnuolo, on my last Woodshop 101 podcast with Jeremy Crawford, why I would incorporate T-track in an assembly table. What would be the benefit? And because I don't have an assembly table that has dog holes, a T-track system works the best because I can use all different kinds of clamps to put together things like pocket screws to where I can plane, basically hold my workpiece in place while I assemble it. There's just all kinds of different versatilities that a T-track system can offer. So if you want more information on that particular conversation with Mark Spagnuolo, go to Woodshop 101 podcast and check out our latest episode. Okay, now in order to cut the groove for the T-track system, which is exactly 3/4 of an inch wide, we're actually going to use a mortising bit that is 3/4 of an inch wide. So one pass with the router will take care of it. Now, when I made this assembly table, I put screws in the grid work system to attach the top section of plywood to the grid work, and I didn't at the time know I was going to be putting a T-track system in. So I've got screws underneath this whiteboard that are just below the surface of the plywood, and this also has to go just below the surface of the plywood. So I'm actually going to do this in 2 passes to make sure that I don't hit any screw heads. So I'm going to set the bit depth just the thickness of the whiteboard to take it completely out of the way to where I can see if I'm going to hit any screw heads. If not, then I'm going to start with the second pass, the depth that the T-track needs to go in. I also have a guide rail system that will ride along the edge of the table that will give me a straight, clean, parallel pass to this edge of the table. All right, after one pass, just taking off the whiteboard, I don't see any screw heads, so I'm going to lower it down to take out the rest. Now using the edge guide for the edges of the table, we're going to make the 90-degree pass the same method that we did for the first groove. Taking the whiteboard first, checking for screw heads, and then making a couple more passes until we get the final depth that we want. And then we're going to do that for the rest of the grooves everywhere that you want T-track. All right, now that I have all the intersections installed, which there was a total of 6, time to cut the T-track to fit in between. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can go about cutting T-track. I've heard you can use a cheap table saw blade, but I really don't recommend that. You can cut it with a hand hacksaw, or in my case, the Sawzall with a metal cutting blade. Makes quick work, cuts it like butter. Now we're just going to take the cut section and just fine tune this edge on the disc sander. All right, it is all done, secured, ready to go. Now, like I said, this was all Rockler's T-track system, and if this is something that you want to incorporate into your shop or your jigs, I urge you to go to Rockler right now. Be sure and enter the promo code that's down in the description below. That way you'll be able to get 15% off just about everything in their stock. There are some restrictions, so go to Rockler for more details. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode on installing a T-track system. This is not a very hard project to do, but it will give you tons of versatility on your work surface, such as mine. Since I don't have a dedicated bench, this will serve my purposes nicely. For those of you that don't know, I have started a second channel called Rockin' Moments. It's basically a vlog channel that I will give you updates or inside, behind the scenes kind of stuff that you won't find on my normal channel. So if you're interested in that, be sure and go down to the description and click the link below and be sure and hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out my website at rhwoodshop.com. Be sure and subscribe to my newsletter and you'll be notified weekly of anything that is updated to the website. One more important thing. I am approaching 30,000 subscribers. Also, 1 million views to my YouTube channel. And I just surpassed my 2 years on YouTube. So I'm thinking of doing a giveaway. And Rockler has already agreed to give away some items. Some of them are fairly good size items. I've got some bandy clamps that I'm going to give away. Also, Microjig is going to be giving away a Gripper 100 to one lucky viewer. So be sure and keep watching both of my channels for information on when that will occur. It's coming very, very soon. So other than that, guys, that's all I got. So I will see you guys next week when we finish this assembly table. So take care. Boom!